Pratik. So thank you very much for coming over to share your journey about the GMAT. So first of all, congratulations on your GMAT score of 685, which is at the 96th percentile. And the idea is to kind of, help students to learn from your journey, what you would like to share. So that's how I wanted to kind of structure. So first of all, let's start with your background. You're a doctor and you thought of taking the GMAT. So can you please give us some more insight into what your thought process on that?
Yeah, thank you so much, Anusa, for inviting me for this session. So let me start with a brief my journey. So basically, I belong from the very small village of Patan district. So at that time, I have a very little option to get into a medical college or get into some engineering college. And as a doctor, always have that prestige in the society. So I choose the medical over the engineering. Actually, I had a board maths in my 12th, and I was getting NIT as well as government medical college student. So I choose a medical college, but when I get into the college, I realized that I really don't enjoy being in a clinical medicine. So I started finding the other ways. I tried that biomedical engineering, but I didn't find any great scope in India. So and then I took some a leadership position in my college, like general secretary and the president of student association, all that. At that point, I realized that I really enjoy the management part of the any system. So at that moment, I decided I will go for the MBA. So that was my journey why I choose the MBA.
And did you practice any point, or did you directly get into this immediately after your MBBS, or did you have any?
Currently, yeah. So actually, I want to pursue the MBA directly after my college, but I gave my first attempt of a CAT when I was in my internship. So at the time, I was getting some new and BBIM, but I don't want to get a settled for less. It's my I'm so clear about that. If I am doing MBA, I will do it from the top 5 colleges of the India or a world. So at that time, I decided not to take the admission and to prepare again. After my graduation, I joined the government of Gujarat as an urban health officer. So basically, I'm into bureaucracy, and my work is to implement all the national and state level healthcare programs, like Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission and all that. So basically, I'm in the administrative part. So before I want to get into a MBA, I think it is a better idea to have the exposure and as well as also strengthen my profile, right? So from last 15 months, I'm working as an urban health officer, and concurrently I was preparing for the CAT. But when I get deeper into the things, I realized the ISP is definitely a better option, because my graduation was 5.5 years long, and due to COVID, it was almost 6 years. So as ISP was providing a 1 year MBA, I found it is a better fit for me, and then I started preparing for GMAT instead of CAT. So this is my brief journey.
Great. So I hear this, and I wanted to kind of also call out that having that clarity of knowing where you're headed helped you make the decision. So I think this move away into an administrative role kind of prepares you for an MBA, correct? Because it tells you how things are actually executed. Wonderful. And in terms of CAT, I just wanted to specifically call out that, a lot of people have that, CAT we apply, and then you also have GMAT, which gives you. So between CAT and GMAT, like as a test, did you find any difference in preparation or any?
Definitely बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंस है, क्योंकि जैसे ऊपर से देखा जाए तो मतलब सेक्शंस है, वर्बल एबिलिटी, डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन एंड द क्वांट पार्ट, बट द टाइप ऑफ द क्वेश्चन इज अ रियल डिफिकल्ट. इंडियन एग्जाम के साथ एक प्रॉब्लम बोल भी सकते हैं और नहीं भी बोल सकते कि वो स्टैंडर्डाइज नहीं है. कि अगर 2022 का कैट का पेपर कुछ है तो 23 का एकदम से डिफरेंट आ जाएगा. वो कुछ नया क्वेश्चन पैटर्न भी इंट्रोड्यूस कर देंगे और किसी को बताएंगे भी नहीं. जबकि जीमेट और कोई भी जीमेट है या GRE है या यूएसएमडी, कोई भी स्टैंडर्ड टेस्ट है, उसका एक पैटर्न फिक्स है, और अगर वो उसको चेंज करेंगे तो आपको बहुत पहले बता देते हैं. तो इसके तो क्या इंडियन एग्जाम के साथ होता क्या है कि आपने कितना भी प्रिपेयर किया, आपने पास किया, लेकिन देयर इज ऑलवेज थिंक कि ऑन द डे ऑफ एग्जाम क्या होगा किसी को नहीं पता. पेपर बहुत ज़्यादा टफ आ जाएगा, पेपर इजी आ जाएगा, या कुछ नया क्वेश्चन पैटर्न इंट्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा. नो वॉज नो राइट. सो क्वेक इज ऑल अबाउट द अनसर्टेन. और वो है कि वी डोंट हैव कि हम जब चाहे हम अपना डेट ले सकते हैं. आप अगर अच्छा नहीं आया तो हम 1 या 2 महीने में रिपीट करें, वो चीज़ नहीं है. तो उस पूरे साल की मेहनत के बाद उस 2 घंटे में क्या होगा, लॉट्स ऑफ काफ़ी भी चीज़ें अपने हाथों में है ही नहीं. तो देयर इज अ लॉट्स ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी विद द कैट. And when GMAT, it gives that flexibility. First, it is a standardized exam, right? And you can choose your date and all that. So first thing it provides the flexibility in term of syllabus. ये हम देखा जाए तो quant बहुत ज़्यादा टर्म्स, तो someone who is from non the mathematical background or not background, so definitely for preparing for CAT will be definitely a difficult part. While CAT GMAT में भी हम देखें तो is the not that much difficult compared to the CAT. Data interface part is completely different in both. If you are even if you are doing a really great in a CAT, that doesn't mean you will do even good in a GMAT, right? So you have to prepare definitely a different way. If we talk about the RC, so RC I can say that is a bit similar, like both have a difficulty level and what, but critical reasoning and the other question of the CAT are totally different. So yeah, if you are preparing for a CAT, it will definitely help you in a quant part, but not in the verbal and DA part.
Got it. So just मैं थोड़ा summarize करके I'll just put it. So first is there is a problem of uncertainty. CAT में there is a lot of uncertainty. Surprise factor कुछ भी आ सकता है, but GMAT is more structured. It's stable. You know that it's only one thing, correct? Second is CAT also has this other thing where the syllabus itself could be different, correct? Very different in some cases, like in quant, lot more tougher than what you see on GMAT, right? And the third thing you spoke about is, CAT has a finality ki ek saal abhi I can't do anything, right? One day I have to perform. Whereas GMAT gives you the flexibility of picking the grade. So now let's get to the GMAT bit. So wanted to know, how did you go about your prep, and how did the first attempt happen and the subsequent second attempt?
Okay, so basically मैंने 3 अटेम्प्ट लिए, पर मैं पहला इसलिए नहीं करता बिकॉज आफ्टर मैंने कैट दिया था, सो आई वॉट क्वाइट ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट कि मैं GMAT कर लूँगा, पर मैंने विदाउट एनी प्रिपरेशन कुछ भी किया था, ऐसे ही मैंने GMAT दिया. सो देयर वाज अ रियली अ डिवास्टिक अटेम्प्ट, मुझे स्कोर भी याद नहीं और याद रखने लायक था भी नहीं. सो इट वाज समथिंग अराउंड 585 समथिंग. सो आफ्टर दैट आई डिसाइडेड कि आई हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर द GMAT. फर्स्ट इनिशियली आई डिसाइडेड मैं कि सेल्फ स्टडी करूँगा, बट मैंने कोशिश की, मुझे उतना मटेरियल मिला नहीं. So I researched about the few coaching classes, and ultimately I because I need a more need with the verbal actually, because as I was preparing for a CAT, I was quite good at a point, and I researched. I find that crack verbal is one of the good platform on the verbal, and I joined the crack verbal. I mean, because my deadline was quite early. It was not deadline provided by someone, but I just keep my deadline little tighter. So I talked with the Devitra and the Sridhar and the other mentor. So they told, okay, if you don't want to attend the lecture right now, you can watch the recorded lecture and you can start. So I started with the recorded lecture, honestly, and it helped me a lot. Basically, it feels like a magic. I'm not exaggerating actually. But before starting a prep, I was feeling like how I will do a verbal. I'm not great with the English actually. So but after doing that all the practice video, and after I suddenly started getting more than 81 consistently in every test in a verbal. That was a really shock for me, because before that I was getting a 50% or 60%. So definitely that Dev Mitra or someone was a mentor said, but what is the best part about the GMAT is the exam is standardized. If you know the question, you can definitely answer them. So I think that part helped me a lot to understand the question better, the pattern better. So then I took 2 official mock, and so I was like getting around 535, 545. That was like my highest score at that time. So DI I was started practicing over time. It got better. Yeah, but though I was not that much confident at DI, and quant I was quite confident that I can do a better. But तो एक मिस्टेक मैंने वो कर दी कि कैट में ऐसा था कि अगर मैं 20 में से 10 क्वेश्चन भी करके आता हूँ, स्टिल आई कैन गेट 98-99%, बट दैट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल विद द GMAT. इफ आई वांट टू लाइक हैव द 98-99% क्वांट, आई हैव टू डू all question right, or I can just do one question wrong. So I think in first attempt I missed that part actually, and then I gave my first attempt. I was a bit confident that I will get around 645 655, but whatever the reason I couldn't I didn't I couldn't get that mark, so I got a 615, and I was really demotivated. The first thing I did that I called Devmitra. So she actually motivated me, and she like asked me a few questions. So I realized on this question I realized where I was doing the mistake. So this was my journey till the first attempt, and I get a 615 with that attempt.
Great. So you kind of had good performance in verbal. Then quant, you was already your strength, and DI you kind of had practice but not enough. So you got the bad score. Now, how did you react? You spoke to Devmitra. So how did you? Because a lot of students, from a retaking perspective, how did you do it differently? Because material also sometimes gets exhausted. So what is the journey from 615 to 685? How did that?
Just I want to correct you. I didn't actually. I was confident. Even I can say I was overconfident about the quant, and even I messed up the quant that day also. So yeah, I performed good in a verbal, but I messed up the quant and DI both. Yeah. So after that, I talked with the all the mentors and specifically Devmitra. So I don't know why I'm so comfortable with her, but that's what it is. So we worked on that part. Why I got that part, what actually happened on that. So I realized it's not about the knowledge or it's not about the concept. It's all about the strategy of exam taking strategy, stress I underwent, and so we work on that part. Before I used to do that, I used to that my preference was I used to do verbal first, then DI, and then quant, because same as per the CAT, right? But this time Devmitra said me that you should try the quant first, because as it is your strong part, you can do your best, then gradually it will be. And I did, and it actually worked. One more thing I did was I buy the official mock test, because it was giving me the exact idea where I actually stand. And third part on the DI, I purchased the more of the official material, because I think there is the best thing, because as we discussed earlier, that exam is the standardized, question type is standardized. And what is one of the really unexpected thing, I got the exactly similar question, just value are different, as I solved in the DI in my practice mock. So it saved me 3 to 4 minutes, and that is really a big deal in the CAT. In GMAT, right? So these things we can briefly summarize. I worked on the exam taking strategy. I practiced more from the official materials. And I focus more on the timing, like how in how many minutes I have to solve this much question. If I find it tough, I have to remark on review and get it to a better, and all that part. So that helped me to rise my score from 6 on review, 6.5 to 6.5.
Great. So I think I think you put it in a very nice way. So the three things that I hear are the overall strategy. So first time attempt, we don't think about those things, but what section to pick and so on. Taking more mocks, which also help you with your own timing. And I think also the fact that you took official data insight questions for practice, right? So I think very good points on what you said. So if I were to look at your reflection on, if I were to look at each of the three sections, verbal, quant and DI, what would be the kind of advice that you would say? Maybe you can go from one after the other. So deep dive a little into how you approached. What is your sense?
Okay, so let's start with the quant. So quant, one thing I observed that if your basics is clear, questions are not that tough much. They don't ask a actually tricky question. They ask a really simple question. But thing is, your basic must be clear. So just work on a basic, and quant will be sorted. Another thing that most of people face trouble with, that's the timing. So you have to practice more and more to increase that you can solve the maximum question in a minimum time. So if you work on these two parts, quant is a really sorted. As I discussed in a verbal, you have to understand the question pattern the most. Okay, if you don't understand the question, you can't answer it. That's as simple as that. Okay. So if you master all the 5 or 6 question type, it will be really easier to get into that. And in DI, practice. There's only one thing you can do: practice and practice.
Perfect. So quant, you have your concepts, and make sure that you understand everything, maxima, minima, this, that, right? So you should not be a surprise on the day of the test. And the second is in terms of how do I do faster, look at the answer options, back solve, a lot of things that we do at Crackfable with people who come even with engineering background, right? Because I think in school we are taught how to solve. Whereas on the GMAT, we have to get to the right answer, so that focus is something that changes. Verbal, I think, great point you mentioned, which is each question type, we need to know in our mind what we should do. An inference question or a big picture question or a, CR may strength and weaken, how you approach. I think I love the point that you said that you actually saw a question which was modeled very similar to an official question. And this is something that I've heard from students, which is why we always suggest, that practicing from official questions is the best way to kind of reverse engineer what GMAT is really, kind of thinking about. Wonderful. Kind of anything specific about your experience with CRAT tables that you would like to share? Just wanted to hear it from you.
Sure. First, there is always someone to support. Like if I'm facing some issue with the technical thing, Arif was always there. Like just drop a message in the group, and someone, at least if he's not available, someone will answer their query, and the things will get resolved at time. All the matters. Just test them; they will be available at any time. They don't like their I am busy or something like that. So I think I like that part the most, because whenever you need the help, mentor will be there for you. So I like that part the most. As I told, they explain everything very clearly. So that support whenever you need is, I think, the biggest thing that any student can have. Because I'm a full-time employee, right? So things that I can't match the time of all the employees. But if I have a help available whenever I need it, it will make things much more easier for me, right? So I think that is one of the best part of the gym.
Great. Thank you so much. And I would like to also call Devmitra and any questions, since you work directly, any questions you had that you think would help, if you could.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not issue actually, but my experience, because when I started my prep, so it was like a time when it was like dengue and malaria was a peak.
Right.
And as a urban officer, definitely it's my responsibility to handle any epidemic happening. So the most of students have the problem that I'm not able to manage it with my work, and so actually how I overcome that, I want to just share their story.
Please.
Okay. So basically, I the job was like 9 to 5, but I had this emergency time. I have to work anytime. So what I used to do, I come to home. I used to take the nap of 1 or 2 hours. I took my day, and then I used to study at night. सो बिकॉज मैं जो 1 या 2 घंटे के लिए सो जाता था, तो मेरा माइंड एक फ्रेश अप हो जाता कि जो पूरे दिन की थकान है वो निकल गई. उसके बाद आई हैव अ गुड मील, सो इट विल हेल्प मी टू हैव get that energy. Okay, and I used to have some coffee or tea between, just to stimulate my mind. And so this can be one way when who is working for a full time can use this technique if they want. If they can wake up early, that's the best part. If you can wake up early and study there. But if you are someone like me who is not able to wake early, you can do that one part. Come to home, take the nice rest, 1 or 2 hours, have your meal, have some stimulant, and study for 2 to 3 hours, whatever that time at night is. I think that can be a lot more help, lot more students.
So what you're saying is also be aware of what is your circadian cycle, right? Circadian cycle. That's a phrase, right? Yeah. So you're a late night owl. That is how you studied. So you cannot used to that this thing, because and that means that you did not watch TV, and how did you stay off those distractions?
Honestly, I don't have time for that. Answer is so clear, because I have a lot of work to do and I have to study, so I don't have time for the distraction.
So great. Any words for Devmitra from your side specifically?
Just words for gratitude. Thank you so much to be always there. Because I remember I used to text her at 12 night, every midnight also. But she was always there, and she always helped. Whatever thing is like with the concept, or even I need extra material, she prepared that material for me, and she personally shared all that. So I really want to thank her. So that's
wonderful. And thanks so much, Dr. Pratik. I think it's been great, because what you have shared also, our hope is just to pass the message, because every time we get students just like you who are coming and doubting, like, is GMAT for me? And I think the idea is to kind of give them some direction. And when it comes from someone who's been, say, as a teacher, I can tell you, right, you'll say, oh, he's a teacher. But someone who's been in that journey, I think you share with what others also share. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll stay in touch. Yeah. All right.
okay. Thank you so much, sir.